What's up fellow Yu-Gi-Oh fans, I am the one and only Glenguin, welcome to the channel. Now, we are well into the post-ban list for July 2019, so I thought I'd do an update for True Dracos, but True Dracos with an extra deck. So please click off this video if you do not like True Dracos with an extra deck, but seeing as the post-ban list is now out, I thought I'd re-update the deck, showcase what I am running in the deck and the consistency that it runs at. I think this deck is actually fantastic going into World Championships, even though I'm not personally in the World Championships, but if someone was to play this deck, I really do feel at a competitive level that it does match all the other decks that are out right now. Obviously, Orcus took a hit on the ban list with Rusty Bardiche. We've got Salomon Greats that got hit, they may have Almirage, and also Altergeist will actually incorporate Almirage now, especially with the Sangam play. And obviously Sky Striker's got hit with multi-roll, so I do feel like there's a lot of fairness in the game right now, and this deck can actually do well, especially with the upcoming decks. We do have an Elemental Hero deck profile coming very soon for OTKs, so stay tuned for that and subscribe for more on this channel for more epic content, and please smash that like button if you do enjoy it. But without any further ado, let's get straight into the deck profile and we'll show you what I am running. So obviously no deck is complete without the actual, let me zoom that in for you, without the actual Draco cards, especially for the monsters for the tributing. So this is Ignis Heat, the True Draco Warrior. Any effect that goes off, you in the chain, you activate Ignis and you get to actually activate a spell card from the deck, which will be True Draco Heritage or True Draco Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix, or you can add one to your hand. Yes, they are subject to Ash Blossom because there is an option to add to the hand, so do be careful of that. I am sticking with triple Majesty Maiden. She's the searcher to actually add your monsters to your hand. Then we play the one-offs, which will be Dynamite for the trap cards, which is True Draco Apocalypse and Return. And then we have the big boy himself, Metaltron, and he is absolutely fantastic. I assume he is a he. I will like to think he is a he. So it does require 3 tributes, and obviously you use monster spells or traps. Obviously you can use 3 of any, but you want to have him unaffected by everything. Yes, he is subject to get hit by a kaiju, but do not worry about that. If he is destroyed by a battle or by a card effect also, you can special summon 1 Fusion Synchro XZs that is Earth, Water, Fire or Wind from your extra deck. We are running a few targets in the deck, but do not worry too much about that. Obviously your opponent will have to go over this twice when Diagram is on field also. When it says he is unaffected by all card effects, Diagram actually protects him by battle. It's very weird that it still protects him. It's only because it blankets all the other True Draco cards, but he does not gain the 300 attack boost, so please do keep that in mind also. Last but not least for the monsters, I'm still running Inspector Builder. I think Inspector Builder is an amazing card. Obviously your opponent, you basically get narrowed down in the monster effects that you can actually activate, but we don't really activate our monster effects. Sometimes you can OTK your opponent if you have the right consistency of cards in your hand and the right cards, because all your spells and traps do all the destroying anyway on the field, so you don't really need your monster effects to go off, especially with all the draw power you have in the deck also. So I really do think Inspector Builder is a fantastic card in this current format also. Now we're going to the spell cards. Self-explanatory, we are running triple Dragonic Diagram. Of course you can destroy 1 card in your hand or on the field. It's really good that you destroy your own True Draco cards, because you get the add and you get their effect engraved to destroy cards on the field that your opponent controls. So really good synergy with the deck. Unfortunately, we have had our terraformings cut down to 1, but that just stops the Mystic Mine players. We don't really need the terraforming. Like I said, the draw power really helps us to go and delve deeper into the deck so we can get our diagrams. If you would really like to play Pot of Desires, then go for it. I just don't tend to play Desires in this kind of deck because I don't really want to lose my monsters. There has been occasions where I have seen my own deck and other True Draco decks just get hit by Desires so badly where you banish 10 monsters, and it really does happen, so be very careful and wary of that. Self-explanatory, True Draco Heritage at 3 and also triple Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. You can draw cards off of both cards, and obviously in addition to your normal summon for that turn, if you have both cards on the field and 2 True Draco monsters in your hand, you can activate both effects, and immediately after these effects resolve, because they're 2 separate effects and 2 different cards, you actually get 2 tribute summons that turn also, so you can have a total of 3 monsters for the OTK. Draw power, is double Extravagance. I do not own a third Extravagance. I would like to, seeing as we're playing a 15 card extra deck. It doesn't really matter what we have in the extra deck because we do use 6 per 6 on each card to draw 2 cards each time. So that's why I'm running 2 Extravagance. 2 Pot of Duality, so you can add any of the 3 cards that you excavate from the top of your deck to your hand. Shuffle the other 2 back in. Fantastic card in the deck. I love this card so much. Card of Demise. Every time I see this card, even if it's by Clutch, I love this card so much. And just to complement Card of Demise, just to stop all the hand traps, I am only running 2 Call by the Grave. We're running a very tight deck. It is 45 cards. I didn't really want to go above 45 because of the consistency. It ruins the deck, and I really do feel like that's a good ratio anyway. We're running 2 Cosmic Cyclones instead. My life points doesn't really matter. As long as I can stop my opponent and I can pop this card. You know, a lot of opponents play Twin Twisters against me. It's really dumb, I know. But a lot of people do play it, and you can chain that, do Cosmic Cyclone and then pop one of their own cards to banish. I know you do pay the cost of 1,000 life points, but it's really worth it if you want to get rid of their field spells. If you haven't seen Extravagance yet, or Extravagance has still left you with the right amount of extra deck space, especially with your Super Poly targets, then I am still running 1 Super Poly. You can always take this out. I know Super Poly is back at 3 and it's unlimited now, but I just feel like in this deck, it doesn't really need it, so I do feel like 1 is enough. Yeah, it can be a dead card at times, so again, take that into consideration. So that is all the spell cards. Then we go into our trap cards. We are running the normal standard ratio of triple True Draco Apocalypse. This card is fantastic because at any time you can actually target 1 True Draco card, another card you control, destroy it, and if you do, the attack and defense of all face-up monsters on the field become half their current attack. Also really good interruption. So obviously floodgating your opponent by during your opponent's main phase immediately after this card resolves. Same with True King's Return, which is why I'm going to place that down also. After this card resolves, you get to tribute summon a monster. So you tribute these cards off, their effects go off in grave also. You have a monster and you get to destroy a monster on field also. So it's actually fantastic that you can do that with synergy. Good thing about True King's Return is at any time you can target 1 True Draco or True King monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense. Also for the rest of the time you cannot special summon. So obviously just keep in mind that you cannot special summon from the extra deck if you do lose Metaltron, but you won't need it, so it is okay. We're running 2 double infinite impermanence. It's always nice to see this in your first hand, especially when your opponent is going first on going second, which is why I do run it in the main deck, because you can just slam down infinite impermanence and shut off your opponent's plays because you do control no cards. And then stealing your opponent's monsters with Crackdown. Fantastic card, you can't really complain about Crackdown. We're playing a weird ratio right now. I might change this, but at the moment I've decided to keep it like this. So the 1 Solemn Strike and double Solemn Judgment, and obviously Solemn Judgment is more important, so I may actually take out the 1 Solemn Strike and just play down 3 Solemn Judgments, just because it's back to 3 now and it doesn't really matter how much life points you are squandering. But because Cosmic Cyclone is in a deck, it can conflict, so be very careful of that also. And last but not least, I've decided to put There Can Be Only One back into the deck. This card is absolutely fantastic, and the more I'm playing at my locals and the more games that I'm actually playing against friends, I really do need to be careful with what I'm playing. So I've decided to put this card back in. I heavily lose to zombie matchup, especially because you can't tribute because of Zombie World being on the field, and obviously we do have the spell and trap stoppers in, you know, like Disciples and True Draco Heritage. But sometimes you just don't see it, so it's really nice to have this card. You flip it and your opponent has to lose all their zombie monsters, and they can't even bring them back out from grave because they can only control 1 type of each card. So that is why I'm running There Can Be Only One. And the reason why I brought up zombies is because I do heavily lose, and I have lost recently to a good friend of mine. I won't say anything, but There Can Be Only One has to be in the deck. So going into the extra deck, these are, well, I'll go through basically the Metaltron targets for what you can bring out. Naturia Exterio, fantastic, really. It's a fantastic card. Stops your opponent's spells and traps. Free summon, obviously, Odd-Eyes Vortex Dragon. 1 special summon from the extra deck. You can target 1 face-up attack position monster your opponent controls and just return it to the hand. So it's really good to bounce cards back. So it's just really good off Metaltron. Also cards like the Winged Synchro Dragon can be used. Shooting Star Dragon, you know, just random cards. Pause the video if you need to see the effects. Some of them are really good. It's nice that you can bring these cards out for free off Metaltron when he is destroyed. Majestic Star Dragon. Trishula is more of like just attack power. I don't really use Trishula for anything. Thor, Lord of the Azir, it's just random, but it's really nice to have, and it just catches your opponents off guard. He does blanket the board of your opponent's monsters and negates all their effects on field, so fantastic card. Because we control Naturia Exterior, we don't really have use for Naturia Beast or Naturia Barkion, so it really does not matter if your opponent hits these with Pot of Extravagance either. One Heater, you can just bring that out, it's more targets. Ignis targets, you know, because we can level 5s for Ignis, you can go into Volcasaurus anytime you want. If you're taking burn damage, obviously off of Ignis also 2 level 5 monsters, Greedy Saramea, any effect damage you would take goes straight back to your opponent, and obviously we're playing the Super Poly targets of Starving Venom, 1 Chimera, and 1 Dragostapelia, so that is my extra deck there, and that's the reasons why I use them. Extra deck is all up to personal preference. The whole deck is all up to personal preference. Please use it as a guideline, as I always say. There's always going to be someone in the comments who hasn't listened to anything I've said in the video. They'll jump to conclusions. You can't win in the video, and they're just going to comment saying, oh, you should not be playing this, you should not be playing that. The reason why I don't really listen and I just kind of remove your comments is just purely because there's a difference between constructive criticism and you basically just telling me to run it your way. And I'd rather just run it my way and how I would like to play. And if it's wrong, it's wrong at the end of the day, but as long as you watch and enjoy the videos, that's all that matters. So going into the side deck, we are running triple Artifact Lancia. Definitely an amazing card for going second. Obviously you really want to stop your opponent, especially the all-cuss matchup, stopping Salomon Greats from banishing anything in their graveyard for that turn, shutting their whole plays down. Double Ash Blossom, self-explanatory. Like I said in all my videos, I love my 2-2-2 ratios, which is why I do play a lot of 2 cards. I do see them quite a lot, especially when there's a lot of draw power in the deck. Double Droll and Lockbird, obviously shut down from adding cards. Double Red Reboot, stopping the trap cards. Obviously Altergeist is still a mist and running around. Double Evenly Matched if I'm really backed into a corner in emergency. Double Twin Twisters for back row removal, especially on top of Cosmic Cyclones if there's heavy back rows. Mystic Mine can still be a thing, especially without terraforming a metaverse at 1. And last but not least, just the old classic, I'm playing double Stormy Miracles to just bounce all my opponent's monsters. If they're running big boards, they're really not going to get over this at times. It doesn't target. It's just nice when your opponent doesn't have an effect that negates this kind of card. So it's just nice to bounce everything back to their hand and make them replay their cards all over again. So that is my deck profile. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Please subscribe for more epic content, and please click the notification bell next to the subscribe button and smash this like button. Let's see if we can get over 10 likes in this video. I know that sometimes is hard on my dead channel that I have right now, but we're almost at 1400 subscribers. So thank you very much for the love and support, and I'll see you boys and girls in the next one. Peace.